What's going on, everybody? It's the Biohazard Mike 88 channel, and today finally get to talk about my Xbox Series X because, let's face it, to me, an exclusive is what makes a system different, is what really can put a system ahead of the other consoles this generation. And right now, to me, the Xbox is shit in the bed because when your first game brought out is a horror game that is not a AAA title, you might have something to worry about here. And before I even get into this, I just want to say that if you're going to look at this game and you're going to look at the reviews beforehand, you got to realize that this game is kind of getting the shit end of the stick because it's a horror game. It's not a big budget horror game, so it's a good game, just so you know. But it should not be that first Xbox exclusive to come out for a system. You want to bring out a game like Spider-Man Miles Morales, like, Infamous Second Son, a Halo Infinite. And I mean, and what happened? Everything got delayed. I know it's because of COVID, and I think people looked at this game a little harder than they should because it was that first exclusive for the Xbox. And to me, it wasn't fair because I felt like the game was going to get judged harder because it was that first Xbox exclusive. So let's get down right into it. This game is overall a good fucking game. It's a good horror game. You're not going to get a lot of action sequences out of it. There is no combat in the game. There's stealth sections in this game that are very tense. And you come across a creature called the Maw, which is it's going to be one of the monsters I remember most in a horror game for a while. It's very good. It's not as good as Mr. X from Resident Evil 2, but for this style of psychological horror game, the Maw it's an amazing character. And let me tell you, my boy Troy Baker fucking knocked it out of the park again. He is the best voice actor in the business, hands down. I don't give a shit. If you argue with me, I'm not going to listen if you say he's not the best, man, because he's the best. He does the voice of the Maw, and he brings a truly terrifying, he just brings it to life so good. And because of that, like, this creature is what makes this game. Every time it's in the game, you get nervous, it gets tense. It's stealth sequences in this game are what make it that I really liked about it. I wish there was more, but man, the Maw is just a fucking awesome idea. It's just brilliantly fucking portrayed with Troy Baker's voice. Every time he's on screen, the presence of Troy Baker just makes it so, it's just, I can't even describe it. Like, man, this guy's just, dude, hands down, talented fucking dude.
Oh, God, no! Don't worry. Just It all lives in me!
So let's get to gameplay. It's more of you're going to walk around, you're going to pick up clues, And it's not really going to be the most exciting game for someone. You got to be a hardcore horror fan to like this game. If not, you are going to find it a little more on the boring side. I didn't. Huge horror fan. Really respected this game. Really respected what the developers were going through. Same developers as Layers of Fear 1 and 2. The Observer. 3 other games I really enjoyed. Even they did Blair Witch, I'm pretty sure. Most people, not the highest rated game, but I still enjoyed it because I'm a hardcore fan. This one's a little bit different. It's not from a first person perspective. It's from a third person, which I really like. You got to know the character a lot better. And it's Blooper Team's best game to date. And the Maw is their best creature design to date. It's their best idea. I can't wait to see what these guys are going to do. It seems like their budget is getting bigger and bigger. Story-wise, this is a good one. I like the story. Story is there. It's really story-driven. Like I said, is it the best story? No, but when that creature is on screen, it's downright amazing. There is also a little girl in the game called Sadness, and let's introduce you to Sadness right now.
You startled me.
I did, didn't I? You look real scared. I'm Sadness.
Marianne. Sadness. Is that your name? I mean, you seem pretty cheerful to me.
Well, it's what I remember.
Alright, Sadness again. Another character I really like in the game. She's creepy. You feel bad for her, like you want to get to know her more. It's just the character development I feel like the main character could be the weakest, but like the characters throughout the game that she meets, like the Maw is really good, Sadness is really good. The side characters are pretty good in this game. The main character, don't get me wrong, she's not bad. She's not the best. But overall, like everything that I'm saying about this game, if you have an Xbox and you like horror, like the Xbox Series X, and you like horror games, you got to try this one out. Like I said, it's not for people who want to get into a horror game like Resident Evil where it does have combat. Like I said, there's no combat, but if you want that tense psychological feeling and you're okay with a more story-driven, like slower paced game, like I said, there are stealth sequences in the game, and they are really good, but you're not going to get a lot of them. Graphics in this game are beautiful. The way the game is played, sometimes it'll split between the real world and the alternate dimension, like the ghost world. And what happens on one screen, like you'll have to do something in the other plane of existence to unlock a door in the real world. Or find an item that's over here, like over in this world. And it's just, it plays really good together. It's a really good idea. I really enjoyed this game. And it's just, like I said, it's not going to be for everybody. It's not a bad game. I don't agree with some of the reviews I've been seeing about it. I think it's because it just should not have been the first major Xbox exclusive. Because it is a development team that have made lower budget horror games, and now they're thrust right to the fucking top to be the first real Xbox Series X exclusive game out there. And you know what I mean? Everybody's expecting, oh, this is going to be revolutionary. Nah, it's not going to be revolutionary because fucking Xbox should fucking have given us a fucking AAA exclusive like a fucking Halo Infinite, like a Gears of War 6 first. But instead, we're going to end up judging this horror game that's good and giving it mediocre scores. It's a good game. It's not the most exciting game. Do I wish there was a little bit of combat in it? Yes. But I was okay with what I played. Will I ever go through this game again? Somewhere down the line. I actually, every time I see video footage of the Maw, even putting this video together right now, I kind of want to go through it again because just that creature alone makes the game worth going through and giving it a shot. Graphics are beautiful. Again, I cannot wait for this generation of horror games because even lower budget horror games are going to look good. And to me, horror games, graphics are a bigger deal because you want to see the guts. You want to see the darkness. You want to see the rust of the world. Like the scary, spooky shit. You want that to look realistic. And I can't wait, man. This was a good one for the Xbox. I just wish something would have came out and then everybody focused on this being the first big Xbox exclusive. And a lot of reviews I said, oh, Xbox first exclusive is just okay. Come on. Unless it's Resident Evil, you can't have a horror game be your first exclusive. It's just a genre of video games that's not as popular as people just sitting down playing fucking Call of Duty or Madden or NBA. Like, I just feel like it got the shit end of the stick. I personally give the game no lower than an 8. If I had to actually sit there and think about out of scale of 1 to 10, it gets no lower than an 8. Beautiful graphics. You know, the alternate dimensions and playing like on 2 separate planes at the same time is an amazing idea. Amazing voice acting, like great story. Overall, a good fucking horror game. If you have an Xbox Series X and you like horror games, don't pass this one up. It's pretty good. Don't read the reviews on it because you have to play it for yourself. I just feel like, again, Microsoft not bringing out a major exclusive until this one being the first one, I think people just reviewed it a little harder because this was the Xbox Series X exclusive that came out first. Nothing we can do there. You can only take the word of people like me that are true horror fans. I know horror games, you know, they're not big budget games, most of them. Like I said, outside of like Resident Evil, you're not going to get a game where people are spending hundreds of millions of dollars on a game. Overall, good game, about 8 to 10 hours long. There's nothing more I can say. If you're a horror fan and you got the Xbox Series X somehow, fucking, you know, download this. There's no physical edition. You got to get it from the Xbox Live market. It's good. What else can I say? No less than an 8. I would not give it a perfect score at all. I wouldn't give it a 9, and I wouldn't give it below an 8. It you know, it falls in that range between an 8 and an 8.5. Not in a perfect game. By far not a bad game. Just like I said, you got to be into those psychological horror games, those slow burner ones. But the stealth in this game, the stealth sequences are pretty fucking good and they're pretty tense. So, medium. Pretty decent horror game. So, until next time, everybody, this is Biohazard Mike. Subscribe, like at the bottom. Peace.
No, don't leave. Always leave. Stay with me.